Welcome to our Birthing Better VBAC online course for you to achieve a successful VBAC. Let me explain to you who I am and what Birthing Better is. I'm the Director for Common Knowledge Trust. We're a New Zealand registered charitable trust, and we house all the Birthing Better skills. I and hundreds of families in the early 1970s in the United States developed what is now known as the Birthing Better skills. It was previously known as the Pink Kit. All these skills were developed when the Cesarean rate was 4.5% in the United States, and women had no choices. But fathers were coming in to labor and delivery, but they couldn't come in to a cesarean. Because we lacked choices, the original emphasis of Birthing Better, and it's still vitally important, is for us to cope, manage, deal with, work through, handle, stay on top of, and feel in control of the natural occurring pain of labor contractions. Now, the increase in cesareans started to occur for a number of reasons. One is women started to wear bikinis, and we didn't want to be left with an ugly scar. So doctors developed what is now known as the bikini cut. They didn't make up that term. It was because women were wearing bikinis. This actually made it safer for women to have a VBAC or a vaginal birth after a cesarean because the threat of rupturing our uterus was significantly decreased, although there is still a risk. Also, the diagnostic tools started to change in the 1980s. When I gave birth in 1970, there were no ultrasounds. Women labored for hours or days. Because there were so few cesareans, it was considered absolutely normal to labor for extended periods of time. Breech births weren't considered a problem. Posterior babies certainly weren't. Multiples weren't either. In fact, when I gave birth in 1970, if a woman contracted rubella or German measles, there was no vaccine. There was no way to deal with Rh-negative issues. That came later in my lifetime. So today you're faced with different medical assessments, different monitoring, different procedures, and you're seeking to have a vaginal birth after a cesarean. We want you to know that even when we developed these skills in the 1970s, and we coped better with the natural occurring pain of labor, many of us still had long first stages or second stages, and that was considered to be all right. But as cesareans became safer, then long first and second stages were reasons or justifications for doing a surgical birth. And why was that? Is it the medical profession wandering around with a knife in a hand? No, it's the medical profession that doesn't want women to suffer. Because there are two real issues about birth. One is risks, and the other is women's ability to cope. There has never been a time before in the history of humanity where there have been a universal set of skills that we can all use in all of our births. So in this course, you're going to learn how to prepare your body to have a vaginal birth. Because once cesareans started to increase, then Birthing Better families turned their attention to how to reduce and prevent those long first or second stages. And we've been very successful doing that. The trick is not hard. It's basically create space in your body and soften your body so that this big object can come down through and out more easily.